Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of ScreamCity? Never mind, I think I found it.
Hello, horror freaks. Welcome back to ScreamCity. I'm your host, Monica.
And I'm Jessica. Welcome to our last episode of Season 1, aka the Bloodfest Awards, where we will be reviewing and discussing almost all the movies that we have talked about this season.
Yeah, there is a lot to cover, but of course, before we get into the episode, let's go ahead and get our peak and pit out of the way. Jess, what have been yours for these past couple of days? We saw each other literally 2 days ago.
Yeah. I'll start off with my pit.
Okay,
my pit is that my tummy hurt. My tummy hurts.
Tummy aches they're annoying, I feel, for the most.
So annoying because
yeah.
It's like I can't tell if I'm nauseous. I can't tell if I am full. I can't tell if I'm hungry.
Your body's just like, we just know that this is happening.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay.
And I don't appreciate that.
Of course.
So
that is an annoying pit, and I apologize.
That is my pit. Thank you.
Yeah.
My peak is that I have like 2 weeks left of school.
That's amazing.
And in one of my classes, we have officially stopped we're basically done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do have an essay that's due in like May or whatever,
mm-hmm.
but we will not be attending the class anymore. So.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Kind of just like the last leg of school.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
We love that.
Yeah. What about you?
My peak is that it rained like hell here, and I am a sucker for rain and gloomy weather. It is my favorite. And there was also a note that I forgot to mention in the last episode that I am obsessed with rain scenes in horror movies. Mm-hmm. There's just something so comforting about them. So the weather is my peak for today. And then my pit, I don't have one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
just keep it there. Yeah, let's just keep it like that. But finally getting into the Bloodfest Awards. This episode is going to be structured a little differently than our usual episodes. So we will first take turns naming every single movie
that we've ever seen.
that we've ever
watched.
Since birth, yeah.
Yeah.
Every movie from this season, just very quickly, just to refresh everyone's minds. And now, unfortunately, we won't be rating every single movie because we would be here for a good, 5 hours.
100%. And also, we rated every movie in the episode. Yeah. So if you're curious, feel free to listen to that episode.
Yeah. But we will be individually naming our favorite movie and our least favorite movie. Mm-hmm. And we also have 3 categories for awards at the end. So... and then, of course, at the end, we will be announcing our overall winner of the Bloodfest Awards because Monica and I have determined which movie exceeded our expectations, not only acting-wise, but
blood-wise.
Bloodiest-wise. Yeah.
Hence the Bloodfest Award.
Which one was the Bloodfest of all of them?
100%.
And, yeah, keep in mind, acting is also
Acting
in
is
that
also
category.
Key, because if you can make me believe that you are suffering through all this blood trauma, you made it.
Yeah. And as well, we have a top actor/actress award where we calculated which actor or actress was in the most amount of movies that we have discussed, and we rated them on performance as well.
Yeah, I'm excited because obviously we wouldn't have these movies without them. So, All right. And so with that being said, I will take the honors of naming the first few movies from season 1. So we spoke about It 1990 with 2017 remake, Scream 1996, Paranormal Activity 2009, Shaun of the Dead 2004, Final Destination 2000, Sinister 2012, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 2019, Trick or Treat 2007, Terrifier 2015, Haunt 2019, Halloween 1978, Terrifier 2 2022, Knives Out 2019, Wind Chill 2007, The Lodge 2019, Violent Night 2022, Krampus 2015, and Black Christmas 2006.
Yes.
There's a lot of ages and dates on that one.
Yeah. Now, listing the movies we've discussed this year so far, we have Nightmare on Elm Street 1984, Friday the 13th 1980, Freddy vs. Jason 2003, Saw 2004, Knock at the Cabin 2023, Mean-Spirited 2023, Scream 6 2023, The Black Phone 2022, Barbarian 2022, X 2022, Last Shift 2014, and finally, Evil Dead Rise 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how we were kind of on a roll from like 2023 to like 2022 movies.
Yeah.
And then we killed it with Last Shift.
I know, bro.
But it's fine.
But now that we have that out of the way, Monica, what was your favorite and least favorite movie from this list and why? And also, for your favorite movie, what was your favorite scene?
Yeah. So I hate being asked what my favorite anything is because I'm an extremely indecisive person. So when people tend to ask me what my favorite scary movie is, I freeze up and I completely forget every horror movie I've ever watched. But from this entire list from season 1, I will have to say that my overall favorite movie from season 1 is going to have to be X. And I know it's a shocker seeing
what a
as
surprise.
to how I was nearly praising that movie with that episode. It just can't do wrong in my eyes. But I will say that right underneath X, it will have to be Haunt. I really enjoyed Haunt. Haunt are all of the, it has all of the my favorite elements. And the only reason I put X above Haunt, I think, is because of how obsessed and biased I am with A24 films.
Right.
So that's my only reasoning. But other than that, Haunt is also very close to my heart. It's like, it's kind of up there with Chucky. And if anyone knows me, I really, really enjoy my Chucky films. So it's quite up there. And I love it. But my why as to why I like X, I will say, like I said, I think I'm just a bit biased. I appreciate almost everything that A24 makes. So I will say that this is also my favorite Ty West film because he makes a few other films that I really like, but this one and Pearl are really good, even though we haven't really discussed Pearl yet. But I love everything about the movie. The plot, the cast, the gore, the homage to some of our favorite classics, and the overall filter of this movie and the accents, because you know them southern accents get to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. My favorite scene is still going to be the same. I do like where Pearl kills RJ in front of the van, and we get her red scene and her like little dancing moment. But I also love the scene where Jenna Ortega gives us her classic Scream Queen, like, scream face. And it's also, like, the poster of everything.
Yeah.
And it's, like...
It's a really good scream.
She is the poster child
yes,
of,
ma'am.
of
Absolutely.
what a horror scream looks like. So, yeah. And then, now my least favorite, this one might be a little obvious just because I feel like with this episode we were a little bit cutthroat and to the point.
Yeah, all we did that episode was just bash it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, but you know what? We're not gonna like everything. And then I've said this before to other people too that I'm like not all classics are good. And
Right.
unfortunately, the one I am booing today is Friday the 13th. I know it's a classic. No one eat me, but it's just not my fave. And again, I respect him as a horror character, and I will always purchase his merchandise. I love the storyline, too, of, like, how the mom was the original killer,
Right.
and, like, how he was bullied into these things. And, I don't know. The overall thing, and, like, the whole camp setting, I think is also really good. I like it, but it just doesn't do it for me. I just also think that there are other better classics. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I'm going to blame the fact that I was late to watching this classic and I didn't get to grow up with it. Or maybe I'm just a hater. But either way, you know, things don't grow without haters. So
Right.
I'm here to hate on this classic.
And I want you to know that you have my full support
I appreciate you.
in this. And you don't have my full support in a lot of things, but in this,
But in this, sure do.
you got my support. You sure do.
You know what? Likewise.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you can support me in these things.
Yes, ma'am.
For bashing such a classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favorite and my least favorite. Jess, what are yours?
Yeah. So, again, like Monica said, it is hard to come up or to at least, you know, say what your favorite one is. I will say my favorite one that I'm going to choose right now was really good. And I loved it so much and I can't wait to rewatch it again. But I just want my baby boy trick or treat to know that this is nothing personal. You are still my baby.
It's 100% personal. She hates you.
No, you are still my baby boy. Trick or treat / Sam.
Trick or treat. He has a name.
And so, but it's just because mommy wants to explore with other things. Mommy loves you to death.
Mommy loves you to death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mommy's with the maggots now. Okay.
Anyway. Mommy's with the maggots now. Hence.
Anyway. Yeah. So my favorite for season 1 is gonna have to go to Scream 6.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it was just so much fun to watch, and it felt incredibly nostalgic to me. And listen, I will say, since I am a little bit younger, of course I didn't grow up with the original Scream.
Right.
And I watched the original Scream maybe when I was like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it was still nostalgic to me, and I really enjoyed it. I think it honestly exceeded my expectations, like overall.
Mm-hmm.
But as well as in like gore and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Again, like
Scream 6 was a really good movie, and I agree. I
Yeah.
think for me, I mean, given I didn't also watch it in the theater, I watched it at a younger age, but it was a lot of the elements to this new one hit home for like the original one, and it was good.
Yeah, it did feel like it was very similar to the original.
Mm-hmm.
So
Still stand by that. Yeah, that one was a good one. I agree.
Yeah. And of course, right below it would be Trick or Treat.
Mm-hmm.
And my other baby boy, Shaun of the Dead. Because
Shaun of the Dead was a good one to
never go
cover.
wrong with Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, that one was a good one. I liked it.
Like, I could watch it 5 days in a row, and I would still laugh at the exact same point.
100%.
Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. I
Now,
agree.
my favorite scene for Scream 6, I'm pretty sure I said the exact same scene during the episode that we did to cover it. It's just something about two Ghostface, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Bear with me,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Two Ghostface wiping their knives at the same time.
It did something to you spiritually.
It did something to me spiritually.
It touched you
physically and emotionally.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But yeah,
It was a really good moment.
It left me mesmerized.
It was a good one. I wonder if that was improv.
Literally, the noise, like the sound effect that it made, like when I was watching it, I literally gasped, and I looked over to my sister. She was like, "That was super cool," and I was like, "Yes." It was just so good.
It was a good one.
I just thought it was overall so badass.
Mm-hmm.
So now to my least favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This one, I had like 2 or 3 in my least favorite.
Okay.
Just because I'm a hater.
Right.
I won't say my third one,
Okay.
but just know that my second one was also Friday the 13th.
Okay. Well,
But
now I need to know what your third one was.
I will tell
because I
you-
will not sleep at night.
Great, then I won't tell you.
Okay. I already have insomnia.
Okay. So my least favorite, I'm gonna have to give it to Black Christmas 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fave either.
Yeah. Why?
Because you're a hater.
Because I'm a hater.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the only thing you need to know. But really, I've just never really been a big fan of this movie in general, like the plot or anything.
Okay.
And listen, I understand that the early 2000s didn't shy away from like any triggering elements or of that nature.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the movie overall just like kind of makes me uncomfy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very uncomfy. The plot itself is very uncomfy.
Right.
So, because I think the original plot is also the same.
Yeah.
So I can see 1970s, 2000s, early 2000s were wild.
They were a time. But yeah, that's me with my least favorite.
But what was your third? What was on your list?
I'm not telling you because I'm gonna get executed.
That's fine. I'm gonna get executed for choosing Friday the
No,
13th.
because no,
Like executed by me?
no.
Oh, okay. You should see the look she's giving. It's a wide-eyed one. All right, fine. We'll move on. Well, fine. If you don't want to say, I guess I'll just move on.
Okay,
Just say you hate me.
I hate you.
Okay. So moving along from all of that. Now, we can't say that these awesome movies where we can't have these awesome movies without having actors and actresses in them. Given there's a big shout out to everyone who makes a movie, because it is literally 10,000 people who are in the making of a movie.
Right.
Not any type of single movie or piece of media would be created without them. But the people that we see on the screen, well, we got to have someone in front of the camera.
Right.
So we would like to take a second to express our appreciation to actors and actresses who work on these films so that horror freaks like us find comfort. Now, with that being said, we do have an award for the top actor, actress who was on the most, or who was in the most movies that we've watched this season. And then we're also going to rate their performances.
So for this season, the actor / actress we saw the most was Jaden Martell. Yeah.
Jaden Martell. Yeah.
Jaden Martell.
Love him.
Period. Yeah.
He's such a
Great
good
dude.
guy.
So he was on It 2017, Knives Out, and The Lodge.
Yep.
So we spoke about this man quite a bit.
We did.
We sure did.
I loved it.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah, I've only really seen him in two, I guess, genres, which is horror, and so him acting very frantic, and Knives Out, which he was a little bit of a background character. Do you have, like, one of your favorite performances of his between those three movies?
Yes. I am gonna have to give it to, and like, I know you literally just said this, but I feel like my favorite performance of his was like Knives Out.
Oh, he did really good in that.
I have an experience. I have like a story behind that, right? So, and I'm like 99% sure that I mentioned this during the episode, but my sister and I went to the screening and we didn't know what movie it was for. They literally took our phones, and then, the movie just started playing, and I had just met him maybe about like 2 or 3 weeks prior to that, right? And, obviously all these amazing actors and actresses pop up, and I'm like elbowing my sister. I'm like, oh my God, look, like it's all these people. And then I'm like, and then Jaden pops up and I'm like, oh my God, I just met him. It's super cool. So I have like a very personal story.
Oh, like
behind
connected
Knives
to the
Out.
movie at least, yeah.
But also, he was so funny.
He is really funny.
I
He
feel
knows how
like-
to play a smug little
Smart ass.
Yes. What am I trying to think of? Like, entitled rich boy.
And I definitely do think he has the thing for humor and for comedy. But I feel like we don't really see it as much.
Yeah, I need to see him in something else. Maybe more of a drama than something like Knives Out or horror. So I'm going to have to say The Lodge. The Lodge is one of my favorites. Again, he knows how to play manipulation very well. I did like him a lot in It. I think he did really well, and I like how that was his kind of debut to kind of become something really big. I feel like I want to know which role for him was a little harder.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if maybe doing The Lodge was a little easier, maybe coming from It, or if maybe doing something as simple or something as like
or
Knives
maybe
Out.
even Knives Out, since I mean, I do see him in a lot of thrillers, but you never, I feel like it's really rare to see him in like any sort of comedic element.
I know, and that's why I was like, I would love to see him like in an SNL skit at least, and to kind of see how that would work out. I would love that.
Me too.
Okay, well, I'm glad, because Jaden Martell deserves it. He's a really good
Absolutely.
he's a really good actor, and I hope to see him in a lot more, especially now that we mentioned it. Something maybe a little more silly. A little silly, goofy moment.
Silly, goofy mood.
But okay, just kind of pushing on a little bit more. So now we also thought we could do some mini awards for just 3 categories. And our 3 categories are going to be the goriest film, the best plot line, and then the most realistic / like the most haunting. I'm excited to list those.
Yeah. So for the goriest, we have 3 nominees. We have 3 nominees for each category.
So if you can please rise when we name
yes,
when we name
please
your
rise.
movie.
We'll pan the camera to you.
To each one.
Yeah. So for the goriest, the nominees are Terrifier 2,
Damn.
Evil Dead Rise,
Damn.
and Haunt.
All 3 of those
Damn.
were gory as hell. All
Yes,
of those
ma'am.
deserved a damn.
Yes, ma'am.
Because damn, those were gory as hell.
But the winner for the goriest, honestly, come on. Come on now.
Come on now.
Let's
Come
think about
on
it.
now.
Let's think about it a little bit.
Let's just sit on it And let's just let it chill in the air.
Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2.
Terrifier 2.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a
movie.
Terrifier 2 was a movie.
It was, I don't even know, like, it's really rare. It left me speechless. You know what? It left me hungry. No, it left me full.
It left me a little full.
We ordered something.
I will not forget that moment either when Jess and I went to go watch this movie. We had like such a shit experience with our food.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even because of the movie.
Right.
It was because of Studio Movie Grill.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Studio Movie Grill.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
yeah, no, like this Terrifier 2 takes the lead for goriest. I haven't read or watched a movie in quite a while that the news had to say something about it and be like, people are leaving the theater, they're throwing up, they're fainting and all of that. Like, you know that your movie did its job when your headlines, when there's headlines.
Not even for marketing. That's just because it's happening. I remember
Yeah.
Damien Leone kind of being like, yeah, people kept asking us if that was part of the marketing plan. And he's like, nah, that's just people.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny. And I love that so much.
Me too.
I love how people can say that they're big and bad and know that they can handle gore, and then they have to walk out mid-theater. Mm-hmm. And like, it's sad because they don't get to experience the full scene, but it damn. And it's not just that one scene either that's extremely gory. Like, the entire movie is just gore.
The laundromat?
The laundromat, gory as hell. The opening scene, because I mean, the opening scene is the ending to the first Terrifier, which is really cool, but it's well, it ends with gore. It starts with gore.
The carnival scene where they're in the car.
That too.
You know, he gets
rips
his
dick off.
Mm-hmm.
Does he rip it, cut it? Either way, he slashes it off.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved the gore. And say with me, it was a blood fest.
It was a blood
fest. And we love it. So Terrifier 2 definitely deserves that goriest film award because
absolutely.
Damn. Okay, so moving on to best plot line. So those nominees are for Knives Out, The Lodge, and Knock at the Cabin. And the winner that we chose overall for best plot line is going to be Knives Out.
Yes.
Now, we know it's not technically a horror movie. It's more of a mystery thriller, whodunit. But I think the plot line to Knives Out was really good.
It was very well executed.
100%. I remember when you started it, because I remember you were over, and then you were showing it to me in Melody, because we hadn't watched it before. But then you left, and then, like, mid-movie, I was like, I don't remember any of this. And then we were both so like, oh, this was so good.
Mm-hmm.
The plot line is
and
very
I mean,
good.
I don't know if it helps. I mean, of course, huge props to the writers and director and everything, but I don't know if it helps that it was such a stacked cast.
It is true. I think it also,
you know, it helped a lot.
Mm-hmm. It also helped that every single person in this movie was a chef's kiss type of actor and actress, and it's amazing. It is a little bit like Clue, if you've ever watched Clue, like the concept of it, but it's overall good. The elements of this one, the modernization, the cast, the music, the filming of it, some cinematography, and the plot line itself is really, really good. Kept me on my toes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then finally, for the third and last mini award for the most realistic movie, and by realistic we mean like which one would we most be afraid of happening to us in real life. You know what I mean? So for that category, we have, again, 3 nominees. They are Paranormal Activity, Barbarian, and of course, Final Destination.
Yep.
Now the winner, it was a little difficult to choose. So there is a tie. There's a tie
for this one.
Yeah, there is a tie between Barbarian and Final Destination because let me tell you something. I don't ever want to be in either of those situations.
And I will say, I think something that we have to also mention is that we know that these are movies, and we know that these are definitely exaggerated versions of what could possibly become, right?
Right.
But there's just something about, imagine a monster that was being inbred for years, like decades. Just the one. That's terrifying. And then it being hidden in a basement.
And the
then
basement of the Airbnb.
You happen to rent the Airbnb that this like monster is just like living in. That is terrifying.
That's why I don't fuck with Airbnbs.
And I think that's also what made it quote unquote realistic, is because the beginning scene and the scene that they show you in the previews is just these two people renting an Airbnb, thinking it's going to be all like whatever dandy, thinking they were going to probably fall in love because, you know, these days. And then Final Destination, no.
With any of them.
No, I mean, technically I think it's like a type of spirit, but that's why it's haunting. It's a type of realistic haunting that I don't think I would ever want to encounter. And Paranormal Activity, we put it on there because, I mean, again, all different types of perspectives. It depends on what you believe in. You definitely don't have to believe in a demonic possession in order to be, you know, to find Paranormal Activity a good one. But I wouldn't like to be possessed by a demon. That's just me, though.
That's
just me, though. I don't know.
Neither would I. Shit, after watching Evil Dead Rise, bitch,
yeah.
I'm
that was
keeping
heavy.
my ass at church
100%.
Every Sunday at 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. Going to mass.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway.
Yes, ma'am. But I loved it. So, I think the tie between Barbarian and Final Destination is... Because both of those are definitely not scenes I would want to be caught in.
Right.
So, I agree. All right. Well, we're kind of at the end of the episode. It's a little bit of a short one, but, I mean, before we finish, of course, it's now time to announce the overall winner for the Bloodfest Award. Now, we chose this movie as the winner based on really two things, which is going to be acting and the blood, of course. And we had a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, remember, we have to keep in mind the acting.
The acting was a big one that we
it,
kept stumbling upon.
Because, yes, we talked about a lot of bloody movies,
but we want
you have to take into consideration the acting.
The acting is also a good one.
So this is why the movie that we chose won, because the acting was good and it was a blood fest.
I liked it. I thought it was a really good one. And then also, I think like what you had said at the beginning is that it exceeded our expectations.
Yeah.
I didn't go into this movie thinking it was going to be a bloodfest.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be...
I thought it was going to be like a silly, goofy, like...
A silly, goofy moment.
Maybe 2 jump scares in general.
And then being like, woo, okay, cool.
No.
This movie surprised the fuck out of us.
I don't know if Damien Leone was part of the
and I think it was well-deserved.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is why we gave it the Bloodfest Award.
Yes, ma'am. Anyway,
would you like to do the honors?
Yes, I will do the honors.
All right.
The overall winner is... Drum roll, please. Violent Night.
Yes.
Of course.
Now, if you don't agree, well, whatever. Get out of here. Get out of here. But yes, I think Violent Night was extremely bloody. The acting was so good. The plot line was even a realistic one. I mean, your home could be invaded for millions of dollars.
Yeah. Not mine.
Not mine. Well, okay,
unfortunately, not mine, but...
Unfortunately, not mine either. But I think
now.
if I were to be in that situation where I was rich as hell, someone just invaded my family and I during Christmas, and then a real Santa Claus shows up to like defend for me, like that's just okay. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Especially being David Harbour.
David Harbour. What did you
listen? It doesn't even have to be Santa Claus, as long as David Harbour.
As long as David Harbour's there to defend my honor, like I'm good.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
No, yeah. Violent Night did a really good job. I thought that was a really good overall movie. Again, it's a holiday Christmas movie, so it had definitely some cheesy scenes and some lines, but I think overall it was a really good movie. It was a feel good, comforting, but with blood, and I loved it. It had the action. It had all the good things.
Violence.
It had the violence that happens at nighttime, and I think it was really good.
Yeah.
And then of course David Harbour. You just can't go wrong.
Duh.
And Lucas Yamo.
What did you say?
Luquizziamo. I always trump on his last name. Like, I get so...
We are Latinas.
We are...
We should know how to pronounce his last name.
Is it Luisiamo?
It's Legucia.
You can't even say it.
Anyway, Cam Giggenden is also in that.
Yes.
And he's pretty good. I love the...
It's a bird.
Hey, I'm not turning around.
Turn around like it's a bird.
I'm not fucking turning around,
okay,
bro.
it's a squirrel.
No, it's not.
Look.
Monica,
it's
stop.
not that close, I promise.
Stop.
No, it's flying. Look, it's on the fence now. It's a little blue jay.
It's ugly. Anyway.
Shut your face. Anyway.
So, yeah, no, I'll never get over, again, this movie, I know the categories that we chose were acting and bloody, but this movie was funny as hell, too.
It was also really funny. I think it had all the good elements. Again, we know it's not horror, and I know that's what our podcast is all about, but we're talking about a blood fest. Mm-hmm. And yes, Terrifier was definitely going to be one of our runner-ups, but I think this one was well deserved.
Absolutely. And the scene where Cam Gigantet's a character, what did he say? He was like, yeah, if I would have been on that airplane, 9/11 would have never happened. Yep. And it was just poking fun at Mark Wahlberg.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that was so
funny. He is so funny in this movie, too. Yeah, this movie was hilarious. It was a blood fest. It was a feel-good. Mm-hmm. And it has David Herbert. Right. I don't think we can express that enough. Yeah. Hello. But yeah, I think that's overall our award show.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love being able to kind of dissect more of these movies. But I am so happy of all of the movies that we got to cover these past few months. They've been so fun to rewatch, definitely. And I can't wait to see what this other season has in store for us.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Okay, well, so that's basically our award show. We just kind of wanted to give a brief idea of what we work with and the movies that we like to talk about and things. So now, before we finish the episode, we wanted to give a pretty brief synopsis on what season 2 is going to be and what's to come. So there is still so much to cover. So season 2 will not be as long as season 1 with 30 episodes. We'll be cutting it down to about half, so about 15 episodes. We plan on having guests who are friends and family for now, dedicating some episodes to conventions since we will be attending some more this year, and definitely introduce more horror shows. And eventually just bring you guys some videos because that's a thing that's on our list for sure. And we still have so many horror films to cover. But we do want to reiterate that we also love just the film and cinema in general. So we do hope to cover other types of genres as well. But all of that will come with time, and we hope that you guys are along for the ride.
I'm so excited for season 2 because, number one, it's going to start in May. So season 2 will begin in May, May 16th.
Yep.
And May, June, July, and August.
We're starting to hit summer.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good horror summer movies.
I love the summertime. And I'm so excited for summer. And
I will say, I'm a hater of the weather for summer. Mm-hmm. But the idea of summer is cool.
The aesthetic.
Yeah. But I'm definitely a fall girly.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for season 2. Mm-hmm. I know that we are going to keep growing as a community.
Yes. It's going to be fun.
And we are going to keep meeting as many horror freaks as we can, literally anywhere, whether we're at conventions, at our favorite horror shops, or just at Walmart.
If y'all see me,
yeah,
mind your business.
Mind your business. I'm gonna be looking a mess. Hey, at Walmart, I'm not myself.
You don't know me.
You don't know me.
You don't know me at Walmart. Mm-mm. At Target, you can approach me.
Maybe.
Because I look a little more decent.
A little bit, yeah.
But not at Walmart.
Right.
But anyway. No, for sure.
But I did want to mention real quick that we will be taking a brief 1 week break, just for us to kind of get back on our feet and kind of finalize some details on season 2 and just make sure that we bring the best content that we can. So you guys won't be hearing from us until May 16th, but I promise that we will still be active on TikTok and Instagram and all of our other social media.
Yeah. I'm excited for all of it, but I mean, that's basically the end. So that's the end of our season finale. This was a blast to record. Thank you, of course, to everyone who has tuned in and listened to us this far. We really appreciate all of you who want to keep up with us. And then if you want to continue to keep up with us, we will have our social medias in the summary of the description, as always.
Yes. And of course, I know we say this in nearly every episode and we sound like broken records.
Yes, 100%.
But we sincerely do appreciate all of your support. And of course, we started this podcast for fun and in hopes to reach as many horror freaks as we can, just like ourselves. And we are so excited that we have been able to.
So far, yeah.
We're so grateful that we've been able to kind of work with other companies. We worked with a movie. We've worked with a horror shop here in Texas. And I know
we
that
hope to only expand that.
yeah, I know it's just going to get bigger after that, and we're so excited to have you guys join along for the ride. So yeah, thank you guys for everything.
Thank you so much. We are seriously enjoying ourselves, and we can't wait to cover more media and start those connections and conversations with you horror freaks. So we love you guys, but thank you guys again, and we will be talking to you very soon. And as always, we've been your host, Monica.
And Jessica.
Stay safe.
And stay spooky.
Oof, that was scary. I can't wait to come back next week.